Okay, Art, it's getting ready to rain here for a day or two, so I thought I'd come out and do a quick test flight. Um, there's your new copter. It's all set up. The radio's all set up. Um, I've got a 3-cell battery in it. You could use a 4-cell battery up, for whatever you can carry. Probably up to 3,500, 4,000 milliamp hour. It'll carry that plus a camera without too much trouble. Your new transmitter. I've got it set up so that if you turn it on with the flap switch in that position, it's going to holler at you. And the reason I did that is when that position is in the middle, you're in attitude mode, and that's where you want to fly it. It has 3 positions that you can fly it. There are 2 positions that are available to you without a GPS. There's manual mode, and that's very much like what your little copter that you bought, your E-Flight copter. It flies like that, probably not even as stable as that. Guys use it for aerobatics and stuff. Probably does 150 degrees per second roll. You can do a loop and spin, whatever. But I doubt if that's really what you want. So the radio's set to warn you, put it in that position when you do it. So the transmitter's on. We're going to plug in the battery pack here. Okay. Going to flash a number of batteries, 1, 2, 3. Then it's going to start flashing yellow. That says you're in attitude mode, and that's where you want it. Okay. Always let any of these multi-copters alone when you first turn them on, so that's when the gyros calibrate and get everything squared away. So basically right now it's ready to go. I'll explain some other things here. I've got some lights on here, and I've got a battery monitor and so forth. We'll explain what that is here in a little bit. So anyway, okay, to arm it takes a, what they call it, a CSC. I don't know, it's kind of a combination stick sequence or something like that. You basically have to do 2 things at once, like put them together. Okay, do it again, it'll turn them off. If I arm it like this, motors come up and I'm sitting here puddling around, and they'll go off by themselves if you don't do something real quick. Then it's a safety feature. It's well thought out. Okay, so once again we're going to arm them, make it bring up the throttle. Once I bring the throttle up, then it says, okay, you want to fly. It'll stay going. I always bring the throttle up real slow. If you've made any changes, I always do a little rocking and roll right and left, pitch it 4 1/2 and see, yep, we got the controls right. Okay, then we can go ahead and lift it off. Okay. You might not want to take off of a bench the first time. Okay, but it's a nice stable machine, and it flies good. It's got good yaw. Okay, it's got good power. They're probably not looking at it. Okay, and it'll do whatever you want. And I think it's just an outstanding machine for taking pictures, for putting a small camera on there and going out and taking pictures. If you can see it here, the camera mount, it's probably hard for you to see, but there is in pitch, it's stabilized. Okay, when I pitch it forward, that camera is going to stay the same. I don't know if you can see that with this little GoPro camera on my head, but anyway, that'll be the gist of it. Here, let me set it down here a minute. Well, that was kind of dumb of me. But anyway, if we look here at the you can see the camera mount. You can see how it maintains that attitude. And it's controlled by your aux 2 knob, so I can set it level, or set if I want to look down, up, down, wherever you want. So if we set it level, and you can see as the helicopter pitches, it does a reasonable job of keeping it level. It's not a hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollar camera stabilization system. So anyway, arm it, away we go again. I don't think it was level on the table, because when it comes up, it wants to come back just barely slightly. Now, it does have Now I'm going to let go of the stick. The left stick I'm not touching, okay? So we're just basically flying around here with the right stick. And it's holding altitude fairly well. I'm not doing anything with the left stick. Okay? So it'll do a pretty good job for you. It's not perfect, but you know, it makes it a lot easier to fly, because all we're worried about now when we're flying it, since I'm not using my left hand, is just where it's at. You know, I mean, I can fly it forward, you know, I can fly it back, and I'm not touching the left stick. It's doing it now. It's might wander around a little bit, but it'll settle back down to where it was. Pretty good, actually. I mean, for what it is, it's just absolutely outstanding, you know. And it's putz around with here a little bit before I have to sell it. Those red lights in the front are going to flash on you when that battery gets low. And I wanted to fly it until you can see it's still got a yellow light. Says we're in attitude mode. Red lights in the front tell you where the front is. Okay. When the battery starts to get low, that little flash in yellow is going to start flashing red on you. Okay. I don't know how good a battery this is, so we'll keep putzing around with it here. You know, until we get the battery to go low, so you can see what the, you know. If I can fly here, you can fly in your shed. I mean, this is... And I'm not doing a lot of stick movement. I mean, if you look at it, it's drifting a little bit here with the breeze, or maybe it's not trimmed quite right. A couple clips forward, a couple clips go left. Normally, you don't have to trim them much, you know. I'd always start off with the trims in the center position. You know. Now it's pretty calm right now, so I mean, that's part of it. Oh, I think I saw a red light. There you go. See, it's starting to flash red. It's going to start crying uncle before my other red lights will start flash red. Now it's going to get to a certain point where it's actually going to start landing on you, and you're going to have to keep giving it throttle and giving it throttle and giving it throttle if you're trying to keep it in the air. But they're saying, hey, the battery's getting low, you need to land. It'll force you to the ground after a while. Okay, let's see if we can go here. Let's see if it'll let me go and keep flying. And the red light has a lot to do with, if I got it down in ground effect, the red light might stop flashing, let's say. No, still flashing. It's flashing faster. Now eventually, it's going to make me keep giving it throttle, more, there's my red lights. I think mine were, there, okay. My warning's starting to flash. Oh boy, now we really got a low battery, okay. But before it's going to let you crash, it's going to start reducing how much throttle it's given to the motors, and it's going to make you land. You know, let's see if we can keep flying and get it to where it'll eventually just, where I have to run the throttle up and make it land. There it's starting to go, I think. Yep. Right now, got holding an altitude. Give it a little more throttle. Still wants to go down. It's going to let me stay there a while. Come on, battery, we're up. Okay, now I'm up. Now I'm up to Boom. As you can see where my throttle is, and it says, "Hey dummy, land." It's a good safety feature. You can't really beat it, you know. Okay. There's also a safety feature built in that the receiver is set so that if you lose the receiver, the throttle goes to about third throttle, and it just holds attitude. And what it'll do, it'll just slowly descend wherever you're at until you got the receiver back, or it's back on the ground. So NOS is a well thought out product. You pay more for the controller, and it's $238. There's all kinds of little controllers for $30, $40, $50, but they're junk. This is the only low price controller that I'd recommend. So anyway, let's go back inside and we'll look at some other stuff here. Stay. No, you got wet feet. You stay. You got wet feet, buddy. Okay. Well, let's see here. I wanted to show you the little battery monitor that I have on here. When you plug it in, it does something kind of cool. I think you'll be able to see it on the video. We'll see here. When I plug it in, it's going to beep the number of batteries that we have. And it's low, so I don't know how many. 1, 2. Okay, yeah, it says low voltage. But anyway, in a minute, it's going to flash the battery voltage. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That tells you that you have 10 volts plus 1, or 11.3 volts. 11.3 volts non-loaded is just about what the normal battery is on a 3-cell with the internal resistance that it fails. It's actually turning you off at 10.3 volts in flight because of the load. Unloaded, okay, you're going to see about 11.3 volts. That little light flashes one long and the number of shards for volts and tenths above 10 volts. So if you got a 12 volt battery, let me go put in this should be a fresh battery, okay? Let's plug this fresh battery in and let's see how many lights we get, okay? It's probably going to say, usually it's 12.3 volts if I got a fresh battery. So we plug it in, flashes the number of cells, 3 cells. Now it's going to flash the voltage. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12.6 volts. You put a voltmeter on there, it'll be in a tenth of a volt to 12.6 volts. It's kind of nice when you got all these battery packs and you're not sure which one you had. Oh gee, that was the one I used, that was the one I used, You can plug it in, and if you go to the trouble of watching that, you can tell what the voltage is. Anyway, if I think of anything else, I'll videotape some more.